Hey, welcome back. All right, it's, official wind down for us. We have class today, and I'll assign a couple assignments. Then we have class on Thursday, and there's just like two final assignments, and then we're done. I won't hold a lecture next week, Tuesday, but I will be here, and I will note it that when you open it, things are just due next week, Tuesday. The course ends at midnight on Tuesday, next week, Tuesday, not today. We're done. So we just have a couple things to finish up, some last projects to turn in and, get our final illustration skills honed before you move on to bigger and better things. So let's check out what we got to do. And these last two classes are going to be fairly short because it's not a lot for me to teach anymore. It's now you're just going to kind of finish things up, take it across the finish line. So, of course, this is your last book assignment. Just to let you know, the last textbook assignment is being assigned today, and it is due in a week. Everything from here on out is going to be due on the 18th at midnight, just so you know in advance. Knock it out now and just be free, be done with it. So that is the final book chapter that you have to do. Portfolio Builder 4. So Portfolio Builder 4 was the lookbook. These are due, and then what I'm going to do is I'm going to, of course, these are due tonight at midnight, and I'm going to look them over tomorrow, give you your feedback, and then the Portfolio Builder revisions is the feedback that I'm going to give you. Knock it out. They're fairly, I don't go, I try to keep it easy, change this, adjust this, move this over here. And those are just going to help you take, it's a second try. Somebody gets their eyes on the piece and then you move on and you'd be like, okay, I got to do this and this and this. Why is this important in the design field? I mean, we've been trying to do it in this Illustrator class. I do it with the midweek reviews. I do it with the other projects, but this is what it's all about. Like, you don't ever, if you work in the design industry as a graphic designer, with a company or freelance, you're always making changes. You're showing your boss or your client the work as it progresses. You never just show a client like, here's the final, pay me, I'm done. No, it's a work in progress. So you show them, here are the sketches, and then they can tell you like, oh, we need to change this, let's change that, let's fix this, move this around. And then you go more revised and they look at it again. Let's change this, let's fix this, let's adjust this. Then you do it again until you complete the project. So it is a big back and forth. You're never just like designing something and it's done. It's always you work with the client because the client or your boss, they're paying you to do what they want. They need your skill set to develop what they want, but you work with them along the way. So that's what this is all about. Like, so you're always going to get feedback on projects from this day until you retire. That's just the way it works. You do something, you show it to somebody and they say, oh, this, can you fix this? Can you fix that? Can you fix this? And then at some point they're like, okay, good to go. We're going to print or whatever it may be. So that's why we work on the revisions. As you move forward with it in the program, this gets heavier and heavier. Like, we will be doing projects that you'll go through 4 rounds of revisions just within one project to keep developing it and building out more and more pieces along the way. So we didn't do it too much in this class. Some people participated in the midweek review. If you see that in the future, man, jump on that. That's like a perfect way to get A's, just like knock it out. No harm, no foul. Like, hey, how does this look? Oh, change this, change this, change this. And then you make the changes, you turn it in, you're just kind of guaranteed you did it right. Always rely on that. It's always around. I have it in every one of my classes for every week. So if you have me, how do you guarantee an A? 1, turn in your assignments on time and do everything as possible, and then work with me on projects. So that's what this is about. I will, like all the other times, I will get you your feedback tomorrow, Thursday at the latest, and it gives you a few days to finish it out and then turn in that final. Let's see what a lookbook will look like from your mind. So we'll make changes, and it's just going to be stuff like margin, make sure there's enough room between things, make sure it's legible. Did you follow all kind of like those design rules that are set up for you, like no center line text, like all that kind of stuff. Like just look at it and work it through. So that's that one. Final portfolio builder. This one is just like right to the end. This is a fun, boy, this is gonna be a short class. It's gonna be like a 15-minute class. This is like a free-for-all, I call it. You have an assignment and you can kind of do whatever you want. So using Adobe Illustrator, you're to design a visually compelling poster that highlights lyrics from your favorite song. Any song you want. What's your favorite song? Go online, find out the lyrics, and I want a poster that shows me your favorite song, like brings it to life visually, using everything you've learned in Adobe Illustrator. Again, this is where you kind of get to go, get to go crazy. Like there's no, like, what are the restrictions? There are none, except for the document creation. You set up the document, and then you can do whatever you want. Requirements, song selection. Choose a song and select the key lyric or excerpt. Let's keep it short. Like, I don't need the entire song. So like 20 words, you're looking at a poster, you want somebody to read it, kind of be cool, and like emphasize, certain aspects of that song. So when people see it and they read it, they're like, oh yeah, I know that song. Like it's cool. It's like, I don't want to call it like an inside joke, inside knowledge for people who know the song. But this is also, if I may this is kind of like that step forward into like what we call gig poster design. Gig posters are posters created for bands that play at venues. That the posters generally feature something about their music, something about the area that they're playing in. So that's why we're doing, like for us, we're doing a song selection. What's your favorite song? What's your favorite part of that song? And then let's bring it to life. So song selection, as long as it's got lyrics, you're all good. I guess, well, people, you are sharing this for like the final share. I'm trying to think about censorship. Just don't be jerks. It's kind of public facing. Be nice. You can do that other stuff. If you have so much time on your hands and you want to do one and share it with your friends, that it's all your entire song, that's all swear words, go for it. Share that with your friends. Do it. But for us, let's kind of keep it a little more P13R, but not X, whatever. Just be nice. Typography, experiment with type. Using hierarchy, contrast, and placement to enhance readability and impact. Like, what are the words that are stronger in that lyric than others? Like, how do you emphasize them? How do you change them? How do you work with them? We've been doing a whole series on making words speak, and those typographical experiments. How do you use that now? Like, what are you going to do to change some of the words, have it flow different? How do you want it to look? How do you want people to key in the certain words that you're using? Again, is it in here? I may have to add it. I'm going to add in the don't do's, like don't severely squish stuff and make it so it's unlegible. And if you have normal type, you just kind of keep it normal. We don't purposely squash or distort things just to do it, or because like I just needed to make it fit. Like we do it because it's a design choice. So make sure you're, keeping your typography clean and you're not, destroying what it would look like. What do I mean by that? Let's just do this. Well, no, like if I type out like word, there's 1,000 ways you can, as we always talk, you take it apart. Like, so say something like, oh, I want it like that, but I'm not going to be like doing this stuff. Oh, sorry, that's that. You know, like, no, that's like, let's not squish it. Let's not squish it. Let's find different ways. Or, you know, it's just not good to kind of, you know, oh, I just want it short. Like, is that really helping illustrate the problem unless the word is maybe short or squished? You know, like that maybe I'll let go, but like just don't randomly make things smaller. Always, like whenever you're working with stuff, always hold down shift. That hand should always be holding down shift. We are always constraining. We're not like purposely destroying. There are times that it's okay, but then it should be design based and not just because like, oh, I was just trying to get that to fit. And so I smushed it. Like, no, don't do that. Illustration and imagery. Use original vector illustrations or stylized imagery that visually represents the song's themes. We've been doing some drawings. Use the blob brush. Use the pen tool. You know how to like bring things in and copy them. You know, like find your visual references. Always find, even if it's somebody, almost if it's, I'm gonna say, even if it's somebody else's work, you can bring that in. You know, like if you use like flowers and you're like, wow, okay, you know, just find some images of flowers and you can just trace those. You know, here, I'm just picking stuff because I don't know. There, I just want that big. I'm just gonna screenshot this. You know, I don't know what my song is, but it says something to do with flowers. So then I go to File, Place, Screenshots. There you go. And then, you know, there's my reference, and I go on another layer, and I'm just gonna start, you know. Why sit there and try and make it up when you can just kind of start making some petals? And you just trace them, trace a bunch. You know, you got to think of like, what's the best way to do this? And this is pretty simple. This is, I could probably do the whole flower in like a couple minutes. Gives you practice, shows your artistry. And you get into, you know, oh, I can't see behind it. Okay, let's switch that to lines only. We'll work with, you know, overlaps and stuff like that. But this is where like using visual references, you can't get it wrong because you're actually tracing something that's there. Like, oh, this one just needs to be fixed. So use visual references to speed up your process. I know it sounds like everybody's like, well, is it really faster? Yeah, it will be faster because you're not trying to start on your own. There are, if you have the illustration skills and ability to do it on your own, you know, go for it, do it. But there's a fine line between like knowing how to do it and just like, I should just use a perfect visual reference. So I'm not we don't want it to look like a fourth grader did it, maybe. But maybe you do, if it fits the style of your song, if you got a song about fourth graders. But so for your illustrations, like rely on, you know, use visual references, just like the icons you built, All right, let's go back. Color and composition. You're going to build, you know, you're going to build your poster. This is a poster size. It's 18 inches wide by 24 inches tall. But we want the color and the composition to look good, you know. Doing a rainbow of colors. I want to do every color in the rainbow. Doesn't always work. I just have to say that. Like, how crazy do you go? And then you start pulling back and being like, wow, does it need every color? Does, what colors work on what colors? You're not going to be, if you do a rainbow, there's going to be a lot of problems, is all I can say. Unless you are dividing out certain areas into certain colors and you're using, perfect, complementary items to have other design items pop off, but be colorful. But sometimes it's nice to, go to that Adobe color, just type that in, and, we go to explore or trends and just like dig around. Find some colors, what's happening? Graphic design. Sure. View more. Find a good color palette that you like and kind of like stick to those colors. And remember how easy, like, I want this as color modes. I'm just going to pick this color mode here, this 217, 217. I'm going to make a square box. I'm going to just make a box. It's not square. I didn't hold down shift. My apologies. I want to click on this, and I'm going to make it. Why can't I go to RGB? RGB. I'm just going to double check my numbers again. 217, 217. Type in a 4 here. 4, tab 217, tab 217. I'm going to hit return. And then I'm going to go to the spot here. It's the spot color. So I started it here. I'm just going to go to spot color. I'm going to go to plus. And I'm going to go to change that to a spot color. I call it like new teal. And then now it's a spot color. So now if I'm playing around, well, I'll just draw something new. Like this one. But I want it the same color but lighter. Just pop over here and go to 50%, And it's the exact same color, just that have to. So that's the beauty of finding the color, making it a spot color, and then you can use tints of it to help your design, and you're not adding colors. It's the same color. Like, that's the way around some of these things. Like, oh, I want, it's 5 colors, but you could have an infinite amount of the, 99 versions of just this teal, from 1% to 100%. So play around there. Let's see. And yeah, use the pen tool, use the shape builder tool, use the clipping mask if you have an image you want brought in. Layers, use your layers to keep everything organized and know where everything is. It will help you so much using those layers. Yeah, I just can't talk enough. If you're not using layers and you're like sighing about layers, like, you'll know at some point it'll hit you and be like, I got to start using layers all the time. Like, I can't figure out where stuff is. Everything's locked or unlocked because you're using like locking and unlocking. So there you go. You know how to create these documents. You've created them throughout this program here. And this is kind of industry standard. You work for a print company. You work for anybody. You ask them, what are the document setup? What's the document setup? How do you want it set up? They'll tell you exactly how to set it up, just like this, hopefully. They'll leave stuff out. They won't give you like make a layer called margin, but they'll say the document's 18 by 24. Make sure there's a margin, half-inch margin, and the crop marks. They'll tell you everything, but you know how to do it. You've been doing it. Don't forget to start, do this. And if you work with other instructors along the way, you can ask them, well, what are the document setups? What should it be exactly? So, be a professional about it. And that's it. It is a peer review one, so everybody can see what your favorite song is and what this poster comes out to look like. So, yeah, that is it. That is where we're at. Are there any questions, comments, or concerns as we head into the last couple classes? All right, great. Well, you know how to get a hold of me. I'm always around. I'm always checking the discussion boards, midweek reviews. Send me an email, text me, let me know who you are. All that information is there. I'm happy to help whenever you need it. I'm here all day today. I'm here on Thursday from 9 until 4. We'll be here next week, Tuesday from 9 until 4. Just so you guys do know, the college is closed next week, Wednesday and Thursday. But that doesn't affect us because our class closes out next week, Tuesday at midnight. 1 week and 13 and a half hours from now. All right. You reach out to me if you have questions, comments, or concerns about anything as we wrap up the Illustrator program here. And I'll talk to you on Thursday with some other final projects. All right. Take care. See you on the discussion boards. Bye-bye.